If I released this video, it means that it went much better than I thought it would. So when people ask you what you do and your answer is a writer, how do you say that when writing is not what you do for most of the day? What you do for most of the day is think about writing and dread writing. And when I say you, I'm exclusively talking about me. If you can relate to anything that I just said, then welcome. Come sit on the floor with me. Also, I'm going to be very self-conscious about this bookcase as I talk, because I swear to God, this thing fell apart, basically imploded. Yeah, I don't know what really inspired me to make this video, other than it's another way to put off writing, which I've found many ways to put that off. When I was first getting into writing, specifically screenwriting, people would be surprised at how quickly I could write things. You know, I strove for 10 pages a day back then, which was just the personal goal that I set for myself. And that would surprise people. They would say, wow, you can write 10 pages in a day. And I would feel flattered until I asked myself the question, yeah, but were those 10 pages good? Am I going to have to go back and rewrite those pages because I tried to rush through the pages rather than sit with them and really, let the process take the necessary time for me to fully flesh out whatever I'm actually planning on putting on paper that day. Well, paper, this thing. But the thing I liked about being a screenwriter, the reason I pursued that as hard as I did, is that it was the only craft within that industry of film and television that you didn't need anyone else for. You didn't need any other resources for. You didn't need a production crew. You didn't need top of the line gear. And that really empowered me at first. And I think that's something that did allow me to write for a few years without that burnout setting in. Was I was really feeling like I was partaking in something that was bigger than myself, that was, linking me to this world that I really wanted to be a part of, but I didn't need anybody else. This is, I guess, what I wanted to make this video about, was that I think the burnout is here. And that's not to say that I have just lost the ability to write. I can sit down in front of a keyboard and I can type.
Write drunk, edit sober. Write drunk, edit sober.
And maybe I can even be happy or satisfied with what I typed after that session. But now when I get an idea that excites me, or now when I write something that I'm proud of, something I inevitably feel is heartbreak. And I think it's because I've seen this story before, right? If you pursue writing for long enough and you actually start to put in the real work, one tragedy after another, one unproduced screenplay after another, you start to really internalize that. And even when you think that there's a path to seeing whatever you're making find an audience, even when you see that path, that's what I've been facing, is the mental block of worrying that all this time that I'm spending on this thing that nobody else has read yet, and who knows how many people will even know it exists, to put all my time into that, energy into that, hopes into that, because you need hope. You can't embark on the journey of writing something and not have that inspiration that comes from the excitement of, loving an idea, loving a story, and really wanting earnestly to share it with other people. But you need to balance that with pragmatism and realism. And I think that is the tightrope that all successful writer's walk. You know, when you think about, I think the complex matrix of emotions that lie within most successful writers. I think it's the people who have been able to navigate those conflicting emotions the best, because they manage to keep loving their craft and putting themselves into it without getting their hopes up and really letting the burnout get to them. You know, I was listening to an interview from Jason Segel, and he said that he moved out of LA because even being a really successful guy like he is, he felt that the messaging of "you're not good enough" was omnipresent. But now, because of social media, you don't have to be in LA to have yourself surrounded by that kind of messaging. I guess this video should be helpful or productive in some way for you. And if it's not, I truly am sorry. I'm working through something, and I don't think I'm alone in what I'm feeling. If, you know, you're watching this and you feel that on any level, then I hope at least you have found someone who can relate to you, and at the very least, don't do what I do, which is put off writing until it really sneaks up on you. Like, you tell yourself you're going to write today, but first you're going to check out the new movie that dropped on Netflix, and you have a bunch of errands to run, and it'd be much better if you worked at a coffee shop or something, and then you go there, and then you and end up seeing someone and catching up with them, and then it's 10 p.m. and you have not written. And if you don't write right now, you are going to miss your daily quota. And when you start slipping on your daily quota, then it's going to keep piling up. All of that stress is going to accrue like interest. But at the same time, there are escapes, there are outlets that are going to help you navigate this burnout and deal with it. There are environments that are going to relax you from it, help release you from it. That's why I love going out, to a coffee place deep into the city. I love urban environments. I love walking through city blocks and just picking up the communal energy of a place that's really alive, and then going to a coffee place, putting my headphones in, playing whatever playlist I've made for this project, and away we go. And this is not top 5 habits that will break your writer's block, but what has helped me lately is putting myself into a more urban environment, not letting myself feel like a shut-in, creating a playlist that's big for me. Some people don't like listening to music when they write, especially if it has lyrics, but for me it's truly ambient, it's truly a background thing, and it really puts me in the right mindset. Like, it puts me in the right zone. Always need a cup of coffee, and get to know other writers. If you aren't in the company of fellow writers, I think that's actually going to be something that can really help, because not only will you be with people who you can talk to these things about, all of the problems that I've brought up, but again, it's about an energy that is bigger than one individual that you can really tap into and plug into, which is one of those weird contradictions. I once said to someone that I think being a writer is to embrace loneliness in some fashion. I don't think writing makes you lonely. I think a lot of writers feel like solitary people or introverted people like me. And even though I like being social, I also really find comfort in solitude sometimes, or at least being left to my own devices. Writing is one of the rare crafts, the only craft really in this industry, except maybe editing, that lets you embrace that quality about yourself. But at the same time, if I'm a shut-in, if I have no connection with the outside world, it's going to be really hard to find inspiration. And I'm inspired by a lot of people that I know, a lot of writers that I respect. You can feel that Gore Vidal thing of, it's not enough for me to succeed, others have to fail. That's certainly the case with some people. You're going to know some people who you will not root for, but you will also know people who will compel you to be the best that you can be. Again, we'll see if this ever gets released, this video. Was it actually a meaningful thing for me to do, or was it just another way for me to put off writing some pages today? Only post-production will tell. Content, God, I hate that word. If you want to see more content about writing, about any of the things that I've been talking about, not really sure what else to say. Oh, like and subscribe. Duh.